following is a paid advertisement program provided by Premier Investments and Wealth Management. An airing of the program is not to be considered an endorsement or recommendation. The opinions expressed are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily of this station or iHeartMedia. Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA SIPC. The opinions voiced in this show are for general information purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, and financial or tax advisor prior to investing. The information in the following program should not be construed as an offer to sell and is not intended to replace the advice of a qualified tax advisor or legal counsel.
Well, hello there, and welcome back to another edition of the Premier Investments and Wealth Management Program. My name is Doug Wagner. I'm the host, and I'm going to introduce the two fellows who are with me here today in a matter of seconds. But first thing I want to do is ask you whether you're watching or listening on your phone, your tablet, maybe you've got your laptop, or even at your desktop. Open that browser, go to premieriwm.com, click Get Started. From there, you'll be asked a couple of questions, give them the answers, they'll hold them in confidence. They will produce for you a one-page My Financial Confidence Score, also known as the Premier Vision document. And on that one page, you've got the roadmap for your financial future. Do you know if you're ready for retirement? Well, find out by going to premieriwm.com. They will provide this one page, a Premier Vision document to sit down with you, a free, no obligation, no cost meeting as well, so that they can explain it to you and you can find out just exactly what it's going to take to get ready for retirement, or maybe get ready for your kids' future as well, for college or university. Again, premieriwm.com. Click on Get Started, or you can make a phone call. Make the appointment today, right now, 800-383-6590. Now, let me go ahead and introduce Elias Randall. He's the new sheriff in town, Vice President and Wealth Advisor at Premier Investments and Wealth Management. Good to see you again, Elias.
Doug, great to see you.
How are you?
It's always fun to hang out with you and do a radio show.
It is. And have it on video, too. I really enjoy this. It's fun. One of these times I'm going to wear one of those crazy moire pattern shirts so it looks like I'm always moving, even though I'm not.
You should.
I should.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds exciting.
And it is visually exciting, really. Also in the room with me, he's the president and wealth advisor at Premier Investments and Wealth Management. He's got over 21 years of experience in the financial services industry. He's an accredited investment fiduciary, and he's also the big kahuna. It's Roger Abel.
Thanks, Doug. Never gets old.
Were you over the big kahuna? Were you there with Jake Paul and Mike Tyson when they did their thing? Did you go for that one? Because seriously,
Michael Buffer did not do the introduction.
Are you up next for either one of those guys? It's $1 million. So.
No.
Okay, just checking.
If you look at me, no way. I wouldn't. No way would I.
$1 million for 1 minute in the round with one of those two. Okay, yeah, I think you're probably right.
I mean, a minute.
Yeah.
You're talking about 8 seconds, right?
Well,
that's all it'd take for me to be done. The first time they tap me, I just see on the ground in the fetal position.
You could run for a minute.
I don't think so. They're probably good enough to box you in the corner and be like, "Here I come." Could you imagine having to get in the ring with one of those guys?
Oh yeah, I can't. Like you, I'd be like, no, I'm fine, just fine.
Okay, so did you actually watch it?
Oh no,
because you didn't want to, or you couldn't?
I couldn't.
So you could watch it on your device.
Right.
I got it on my phone.
Yeah.
But the whole time I'm like, we got to check the share price of Netflix.
Yeah, spin.
Because it buffered the entire time.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't watch.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't get it on my TV.
Yeah. No, it was ridiculous. And then so who won? Was it Jake Paul won?
Jake Paul won, yeah.
Was it a real fight or was it rigged? I've looked at all this stuff that said they think it's rigged because Tyson just didn't do much.
Here's the thing. He had 8 blood transfusions since when they had originally scheduled this, and he was sick. He had 8 blood transfusions, lost 25 pounds. So I'm thinking that's pretty much the reason why he lost the fight.
It's not because, hey, you make a little bit more money if you don't knock me out in the first round.
Well, I mean, hey, there could be that too. It is Vegas, and it's a non-sanctioned fight. But the high point of the entire fight was actually the pre-fight when Mike Tyson's doing his interview, and he's in his boxing jock, right? They get to the interview, he turns around and walks away in all his glory. And they're like, "Oh, I hope I look like that when I'm 58 years old."
Yeah. Well, the highlight of that was the women's fight. before that.
Really?
Did you watch it?
Did not watch that.
Yeah, that might have been one of the greatest fights.
Really?
Of the year. Yeah, you should have watched it.
Okay.
And the fight before that too. Ramos and Barrios, maybe.
I'll have to go back and take a look at those.
Those are actually great fights.
Okay.
I watched all those, and then right about the time Tyson fight came on, it just started spinning.
Yeah. I'll have to go back and check those out. Now, the NFL is going to be showing on Netflix on Christmas Day. They've got 2 games. So if you're prepping for that, one of the big things for Black Friday shopping, gentlemen, is televisions, the biggest and the best ones that are out there. So today,
are they still a thing?
Yeah, TVs. Oh, yeah. Wall-sized TVs now?
Wait a minute. Wall-sized TVs.
Yeah, where you have a TV the size of a wall.
So now you don't need a projector if you're doing like a movie theater.
Yeah,
How much does a wall-sized TV go for?
That's a very good question, and it's considerably less than it had been before. So each generation they come down in price. So yeah, you're talking about potentially huge amounts of money. But whole point of this is that you've got some financial tips for the listeners and the viewers for navigating Black Friday and holiday shopping, because you really can just blow a wad on there, number one. Number two, there are a lot of people who said, I'm going to go into debt in order to get the Christmas stuff that I need to do. So you say, Roger, it's critical for people to create a budget and stick to it. Talk to me a little bit about that and how you go about doing so.
Yeah, and I always like doing shows this time of year. The story here on Black Friday is have a budget when you go out there, right? You need to have an idea of what you're looking for. And I have a great personal story about this.
Okay.
And I probably tell this every single year, so longtime listeners probably know. This is probably about 9 years ago. My wife used to do Black Friday shopping. Right. Actually, they did Great Thursday, where the places open up like Thursday night. Like,
yeah.
You know, like 10 o'clock, everybody's lined up outside of Target, whatever. I don't partake in that. Anyway, I'm laying in bed. This is pre-kids, after Thanksgiving, I'm just hanging out. And I get this call from my wife. She goes, hey, I just got 65-inch TV for $220. I'm like, okay, well, that's awesome, but where are we going to put it? Because we don't really need a TV. She goes, but it was $220.
Yeah.
Some guy gave her, there were only 10 available at Target. So she made this impulse buy.
Yeah.
Well, we had the TV, and guess how long the $220 TV lasted?
220 days.
3 years. But still, that's not very good for, some off-brand.
Mm-hmm.
But point is, my wife didn't have any intention to buy a TV.
Right.
She didn't have a budget. Mm-hmm. So all of the impulse buys come into play. Most places publish what their Black Friday deals are.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's always good to realize that you're likely not going to get the doorbuster without a lot of effort.
Oh, yeah.
When they advertise, we have these TVs 80% off, or I'm using TV from your example.
Right, and I did this actually.
There's like 4 available. Mm-hmm. So you're going to beat someone up to get the TV? Like, no, but the whole point is to get you in the store, buy all the other stuff that is on sale now.
Yeah. You know what the key is? It's to know somebody at the store.
I got to tell you something. So I did find out last year that the best day, according to the salesperson, to go get new devices, so phones, tablets, watches,
right,
is Black Friday.
Okay.
Black Friday last year, get a phone. Mm-hmm. If you need to upgrade your phone,
right,
free tablet, free iWatch with it.
Oh, wow.
That's
good
pretty
deal.
Sporty.
So the lady there actually told me that the best deal of the year at our store is typically Black Friday. And you know what's crazy? It wasn't packed.
Yeah.
I expected it to be bananas, and it wasn't busy at all.
It's so strange because so many people have moved everything online at this point. So you can have your spending cap that you're going to do. You say, hey, here's what I'm going to do. But then when you take a look at, how you're going to allocate the money, part of it is like, am I going to allocate part of it for online and then in person? Or if I'm going to do it via these different departments like decorations versus gifts and food and stuff like that? Because the whole budget needs to be considered, Elias, not just the gift-giving budget, because you can skimp on the gift-giving, but then all of a sudden, the liquor budget goes through the window and out the door and down the street.
Well, you should always have a little bit of wiggle room, as people call it, in the holiday budget for those reasons. Because there's going to be impulse buys. There's going to be situations that come up where, oh, hey, we don't have this. Will someone run to the store and get it? Because it's going to be will be an item that either you always have or you would really like to have. And I think now with online shopping, it's become much easier to research and compare prices. You can do it from the comfort of your home as opposed to going to the store. But I think I think Black Friday is an event in a way too for families, because if it's a tradition to always go shopping on Black Friday, it's not just the deals that are out there. It's also part of your holiday season. Yeah. Part of your experience. But I think leading up to it, the ability to track prices, make some sort of wish list or make and maintain a list. A lot of companies let you do alerts. So you can probably set things, hey, I really like this item. Give me an alert if there's a sale or a deal on it. And then the other thing that I think is important from kind of these talking points, don't fall for all the marketing tricks around Black Friday, right? The teaser deals, limited time only, while supplies last. Right. These items are on sale. They're going to be on sale. Just kind of spend a little bit of time with your research, figuring out really what you want, and then just kind of sticking to it. But if something pops up and says limited, or they're creating a sense of urgency, don't let your fear of missing out get the better of you. FOMO. That advertisement's going out to a lot of people. And that deal is most likely on the table.
Premier Investments and Wealth Management Financial Program right here in your radio worldwide via the free iHeartRadio app. PremierIWM.com is the website you can even schedule your appointment at PremierIWM.com. Click Get Started, get your Premier Vision document as well. We'll talk more about that coming up. What's the phone number in case people want to get in touch with you?
800-383-6590.
You wanted to follow up on something Elias was saying?
Well, I think Elias mentioned don't fall into that FOMO trap.
Yeah.
Also remember, this isn't 2021 or 22 where are things in short supply.
Yeah.
There's much more supply of things today. They're more readily available. There was a time in 2021, if you were going to buy that toy for your child, you had to get it like 90 days in advance. Otherwise, you probably weren't going to get it. And
that is true.
The economy has changed back to a more similar pre-COVID economy, in my opinion. I just saw the other day, car manufacturers now offering 0% financing again. Why is that? Is it because there's a car shortage, or is it because they can't move cars? My guess is they need to move cars, and they're incentivizing people to do it.
Yeah.
A good example, I have a new car coming. Well, a year ago, you didn't know when you could get one.
Right.
Now it's like, oh yeah, it'll be here December 9th. No kidding. Took 4 weeks.
Yeah.
We're just back to a more normal COVID economy. And I think it goes to just to kind of coincide with what we're talking about. You have to do a little research and compare prices now because there are price discrepancies. I was shopping on Amazon the other day, which is my preferred method for like home goods.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my daughter needed some face cream. Yeah. Okay, go to Amazon. Well, you would just kind of think, well, Amazon, if it says Prime, like it's going to be their best deal. $22.99. Well, I just sorted by lowest price first, same item. $5.99.
Oh.
So you have to be a little bit careful that you don't just look at the featured item, because there's featured items. And I didn't really realize
the bottle of it was like face lotion or something ranged from $6 to $22.
You got it. Well, remember, anybody can go resell on Amazon and be a Prime member. I'm sure they can probably pay to be a featured seller. And I usually just click the first one. Well, then I realized I'm like, is this little thing really $23?
No, it's
$6. Like, I'm willing to pay a convenience fee because it's online.
Right.
And that's like, I buy deodorant. I buy it through Amazon just because I'm going to get it faster than going to the store. Like, I don't want to make a trip to the store for one thing. But now I realize you have to like really watch the prices. I always made a joke. Amazon used to be because you could get a great deal when it first came out.
Right.
Now, it's just all about convenience. It's It's not really about the price. It's about the convenience.
Yeah. And you're going to be paying for that too. It brings up a good point about shopping, like you said, strategically online versus in store. And it's really interesting because the average person I was reading I think it's up 7% this year. The average consumer is going to spend $2,100 on holiday shopping this year.
And that totals up 7% from a year ago.
2023. Yeah. It's anticipated that that's going to be the case. Take a look at it now. It's expanded because before, remember, it used to be Black Friday, right? And then Gray Thursday,
Cyber Monday,
and there's like all these different ones that are out there, and they're just trying to find and figure out a way to extract money from you. It's important to know that you can say no. And how do you have the conversation? Because you said something about this a little bit earlier, Elias. This whole concept of it's an experiential thing, the Black Friday thing. Because I remember back before I was in radio, I remember getting up at 4 a.m. and that would be our thing: is get up, make a pot of coffee, I make breakfast, we grab that newspaper, we sit there and we start circling stuff up again and making our game plan for where we're going to go, how we're going to make this attack. And I mean, you can really just fall into this whole thing, lock, stock, and barrel.
You can. And I think I don't think there's anything wrong with it being an event for the family to go have some fun. It is in my family. Now, I don't participate in that. I stay home.
It's fun for them.
Yeah, it's my wife goes out with my mother-in-law, her mom, and her aunts and sisters and everybody, and they have a lot of fun doing it. For me, wandering around stores and looking at stuff is not the most fun thing for me to do. So then I stay home and hang out with the guys in the family that don't go, and we watch the kids. And probably at that time, well, that'd be Thanksgiving, right? So not building toys, but
well, especially if the kids are around, you can't just sit there and build toys.
Yeah,
so,
correct.
Yeah, I understand that completely.
Correct.
Yeah,
but there's just a lot to it, and to go on to your point about the number of days. I mean, the Christmas toys are already out everywhere. So is it Fleet Farm? That's the big.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Fleet Farm, they do their Toyland area. We walked through it the other day, and I was kind of laughing because every single item right now has a little red tag on it because it's on sale, right? So then, but I'm sure that, right, they put it out. Okay, we're going to do a discount. Let's see how many people we come in to buy. I'm sure those discounts go away the closer you get. But it's just, I mean, whether you want to spend your money 2 weeks ago on Christmas stuff or wait till Black Friday, there's plenty of opportunities to do it.
It's the time of year where people save money by buying things. See how counterintuitive that is. Well,
you wouldn't
I saved
believe
money.
how much money I saved by buying things
You
today.
didn't save any money. You spent money that. So it kind of goes to another thing to talk about. If you're going to go do Black Friday, are you buying things you need, or are you buying things because you think they're a good deal?
Okay.
You can probably find that good deal again. Like arguably, there's things you could buy that they're such a great deal and you're going to use it. Well, how many things of paper towel do you need in your house? Because it's a great deal, right? If you had the lowest deal on paper towel ever, you'd fill your whole garage if it was such a great financial decision. Nobody's ever got wealthy by saving money buying an item.
You know what? Somebody I know and loved just was telling me that said, yeah, I got this Burberry shirt. It was marked down from $700 to $180.
Oh, yeah. He saved money. No, he didn't. He's minus $180.
Minus
for a
$180. It was a nice shirt.
I'm sure.
I mean, but, we bought the BURBERRY instead of the BERBERRY. The Burberry. It's like Larry Vuitton instead of Louis Vuitton.
Oh, so you bought a knockoff?
No, he bought the real deal.
Okay.
So yeah, that's it. Okay. Don't buy knockoffs. Not recommending that at all. Premier Investments and Wealth Management Financial Program. It's not a way to save money, people. That's not a way to invest either. You're looking for haystacks, not needles, and that's what my friends at Premier IWM will do for you. Premier Investments and Wealth Management. Just go to the website, click on Get Started, answer a few questions. They'll provide for you the one-page Premier Vision document. It's a one-page My Financial Confidence Score, really, so you can figure out whether you're ready for retirement or whatever your goal for the future is. PremierIWM.com or call 800-383-6590 to make an appointment today. Talking about Black Fridays, shopping smarter, and navigating Black Friday and holiday shopping. Another thing that a lot of people are doing too, you remember after COVID broke up, one of the first things we saw from the Super Bowl ads was that I think it was Expedia came on and say, hey, when's the last time that you were disappointed when you took a trip somewhere? It's time to give the gift of experiences. And they're really starting to ramp that up too. But sometimes when you give the gift of experiences, it can really end up costing you a lot more in the long run because of a lot of hidden costs and fees that people just don't think of. You got to, when you do your research, you got to sort of dig in line. You're an experienced traveler. I mean, you probably are familiar with a lot of those hidden things that happen, like the cost of pet care. If you have a pet you're leaving behind. Babysitting if you leave the kids behind. All those things.
I'd like to tell you I put a lot of time into researching that, Doug.
Yeah.
When I take vacation, my goal is not to try and save money.
Okay.
It's to make sure I have the best experience possible.
Okay.
But for what I want to spend.
Right.
Right? Like, I've done those before where you try to be on a budget. Well, guess what happens?
It's not a fun vacation.
It's not, no.
Yeah.
If you're going to spend the money to go on vacation, why are you trying to save a couple $100 here and there?
Yeah.
Like, trust me, it's worth it to be hassle-free. But what happens to people when they try to get a deal, it's likely because they can't afford it. That's why they're trying to pinch the penny. And then it leads to the next gray hole. And this happens on Black Friday.
Yeah.
Buy now, pay later. It's going to be everywhere.
That's right.
Buy now, pay later. And if people don't know what buy now, pay later is, it's a form of debt, just like a credit card. And Affirm's a big one. And I'm not being company specific, but just in general, you're taking debt. If you need to do buy now, pay later, you likely can't afford the item that you're purchasing.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if vacations offer it, but I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can do an Expedia buy now, pay later. I don't know.
It's interesting because I tried that. Just specifically, I tried it one time just to see, okay, what does this feel like? Just because I was kind of curious about it. It was not a big ticket item. It was like, because, okay, I got an emergency fund, but it was something for $120. And it was like, pay $30 a month. I mean, literally, it's like one of our local fine goods stores, credit cards is the same way. It's interest-free, and you can pay it over time, but the price you're going to pay on the front end is maybe a little bit higher.
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never done it.
Yeah, the front end, I think the price, with the research I've done, is the price you're going to pay is a little bit higher. And this is stuff that doesn't show up in the credit report either as well, Elias.
No, the BNPL, the buy now, pay later stuff, at this time does not show up on credit reporting services. And I think one strategy people can implement to kind of overcome this and having to do it, because I'm sure there's a certain percentage of consumers that still haven't paid their credit card bill all the way from the holidays a year ago.
Right.
I'm sure every year there's people that carry that debt into the next year. And then it's just kind of this vicious cycle. So I think a good strategy for this would be a sinking fund, the concept of the sinking fund, where try and save money throughout the year to be able to fund this. And that's been very effective, at least for our house. We know in the ballpark of what we spend around the holidays. Yeah. So we do a different savings account just for that. I think it's a weekly deposit. And then at the end of the year, that money's sitting there, and it's everything. It's the extra food we're going to do, all the gifts, and just all that. So it gets us, at least it gets us in the ballpark. Now there's always some wiggle room, like we talked earlier too.
Yeah.
But you really got to be careful with the buy now, pay later situation, because you are taking on debt to do it. You do have to pay it back.
Right.
And it's just not, funding consumer discretionary items with debt, typically not a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, let's just think about what holidays are really about. The focus should be on being present with your family, not going into debt. So when you talk about a sinking fund, which is really having a budget, you're budgeting out how much you're going to spend, save X amount of dollars each month. So when the time comes to spend it, you have it. Well, if you figure out you can't afford this stuff, maybe you should start thinking about shifting your focus from material things to time with the family.
Yeah.
I know is our family ages, not our kids, but like parents and my in-laws and all those family members, we've got away from giving gifts to each other, and we put all the focus on hanging out together. Now, all the we do gifts for the kids and everything, but I mean, we're adults. I mean, do we all need to exchange gifts?
No,
I mean, it's
anymore,
cool if you want to give a gift, but sometimes I feel like it's an obligation. If you're just buying gift cards for people, you're just buying a gift.
Right.
If it's something meaningful, like when my wife and I exchange stuff, I give her ideas of things that I wouldn't buy for myself. And I pretty much buy anything I want. But there are certain things that I won't buy. I didn't want to buy a new briefcase.
Yeah.
Guess who bought me one?
Yeah.
And the brand of her choice, which I never would have bought. But guess what?
It's probably really nice too.
It's really nice. I really like that gift, but I never
would have bought that on
I wouldn't
your
even thought about it.
Yeah.
Like it never crossed my mind. But she was so tired of seeing what I had for 14 years.
Ratty briefcase.
Yeah, she's like, you can't have that.
Well, and anymore with just online shopping and just the amount of discretionary income people have, kind of the days of waiting for holiday season to get a nice gift from a family member, that's all kind of come and gone. I mean, for the most part, people are buying the stuff they want when they want it, right? Like how many people really wait for the holidays for a gift? Now, at the family stuff, right, everyone's gonna get stuff for the kids. That's just a kind of a given. So they're gonna get all these toys and hopefully stuff that they need as well. But even when it comes to that and you're budgeting for it, the box that the toy comes in is going to get played with just as much as the toy. So that kind of gives you a clue into how easy it is to really entertain kids. So don't break the bank to buy the fancy new shiny object that maybe they'll play with, maybe they won't. And, I can speak for our family. Like, we have 2 sons.
Yeah.
How many trucks, tractors, bicycles,
Stuffed animals.
Yeah.
stuffed animals, and cushion blocks to climb on do 2 little boys need? And you know what I mean? And they don't, everything they have just turns into something they beat on anyway.
Yeah.
So might as well just keep the old stuff and let them keep hammering on that.
So Black Friday is coming up. Make sure that you're following these fabulous tips. Go to premieriwm.com. You know what? I imagine you can locate some of this information there, if not the podcast of this as well. premieriwm.com. Click Get Started. Answer a few questions. Get your one-page Premier Vision document. And from there, you can make the appointment. They will sit down with you, and they will discuss all of these things with you. You know what? The first appointment, you're not even going to have to bring anything. Don't bring a checkbook. You don't have to bring any records. They just want to talk to you and get to know you a little bit. And it's the same thing. You can get to know them as well. Enjoy your holiday season and the shopping. I know that you're going to be shopping real quick, or yes or no?
I'm not much of a shopper.
Yeah? You're going to be online.
Yeah, my wife might go this year. I think our girls are to the age where she could go do that. They're not interested in shopping yet, but my wife probably will go try to get out of the house. And
there you go. We already know what you're doing. You're going to be off with the other men folk doing these things, so we understand that.
Correct.
Enjoy, and enjoy your Black Friday experience as well. For Roger Abel and for Elias Randall, I'm Doug Wagner. We'll talk to you again next week in the Premier Investments and Wealth Management Financial Program.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA SIPC. The opinions voiced in this show are for general information purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, and financial or tax advisor prior to investing. Premier Investments and Wealth Management and LPL Financial do not provide tax advice. Please consult your tax professional. Economic forecasts set forth may not develop as predicted, and there can be no guarantee that strategies promoted will be successful. There's no guarantee that a diversified portfolio portfolio will enhance overall returns or outperform a non-diversified portfolio. Diversification does not protect against market risk. All performance referenced is historical and is not a guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and cannot be invested into directly. There is no assurance that the techniques and strategies discussed are suitable for all investors or will yield positive outcomes. The purchase of certain securities may be required to affect some of the strategies. Investing involves risks, including possible loss of principal.